Hey, so today I decided that since I finally got my guitar working, I was going to do a review of the mod that I put in it. I put a QDD onboard distortion unit. That's a really classy thing. It rolls right off the tongue. Anyway, it's basically just a thing that replaces your tone knob, and the further you turn it, the more distortion it puts on it. So I decided that I'm just going to review it through a really crappy little, like, 10-watt amp. If you want to see it, here. I think it's about as crappy as it gets. One thing that I noted before I start actually going through some of the tones is this thing, even when it's not on, when it's bypassed, your pickups are really hot after you make this mod. So if you like really low output pickups, if you like a vintage Strat sort of output, not a lot of output at all, doesn't really drive your amp, this might not be the mod for you, because this thing will really make your pickups hot. This is a 1999 Stage Master. The pickups in these are stock. They're not anything in particularly flashy or important or anything like that, but to say the least, these things are known as being pretty honky and thin and all that. These things thickened right up after this, so I suspect it's probably something to do with output. It's kind of a headache to put in. The first time I actually got it, I put it in and the wiring diagram wasn't very good at all, so I messed it up. So I had to get a whole new wiring harness for this guitar. But I got the same value pots and all that, so it should sound pretty close to the same as what it did originally. Other than the fact that it takes out your tone knob, so you get a little bit more high end, and there's no roll off now. So if you just like full blast, Van Halen style stuff, throw this thing in your bridge pickup and turn it all the way up, you should be good to go. I'm going to go ahead and set my phone down and turn this thing up and let you hear what it sounds like in some of its different settings. So let's see if this. Okay, so grab my pick. Really fairly thin kind of thing to expect out of I'm in the bridge pickup. Not a particularly amazing thing. It's just, I'm in about 6, and it's already given this amp breakup, and this amp's set at like 2. So I mean, this thing, and this is actually a really clean 10-watt amp. So this thing, by halfway up, you hit it really hard, you can start hearing it break up. I'm going to turn it all the way up before I start turning the distortion in, just to let you hear how much gain this thing adds to your clean signal. This thing drives an amp really hard, and there's no actual boost technically that's going on. So I suspect that this isn't really true bypass or anything like that. I would almost say it's like taking passive pickups and making them like active output. So let's find a setting so that I can turn my volume down enough, be heard, and not have distortion that I don't want. So here's just an F chord. Okay, here's the first setting in the bridge pickup. Well, I'll let you hear my neck pickup first. We all know what a neck pickup sounds like. So in the bridge position, here's setting, I'm not sure how you want to put this. I guess it's setting 2, because the first setting is supposed to be off. So here's setting 2. I notice it adds a little bit more gain to it. It's a little bit shimmery almost. I would describe it as like an old, like, vintage amp being turned up all the way, but the guitar not being turned up all the way, so it's not starting to distort really hard just yet. Here it is in the neck pickup. So not a whole lot of gain going on there, not anything we would really consider distortion, just, you know, really loud twang. Here's setting 3. That's the bridge pickup. And here's the neck pickup. I would describe this almost as like a good blues rhythm and lead sort of like. It's got a really good. It'd be great for country lead. I would say that this would be great for country lead in this third setting. So here's the fourth setting. That's really starting to push it pretty hard. Here's a neck pickup. So this thing is really starting to put some distortion and some gain in there. I mean, this thing just. So I mean, you can pull pinch harmonics off in this setting, and this isn't even the highest setting. You can pull pinches off like nobody's business. So I mean, this thing's already really putting some heavy gain in there. So here's the last setting, setting 5, and this is one where you might notice my amp starts to hum really loud. I don't know if you can hear that or not because I'm just recording this on my phone. This is really, really high gain. That's just crunchy. I mean, that's just, you know. That's the bridge pickup. And then here's the neck pickup. This thing really, I would almost say this setting is almost not usable because there's so much gain and distortion on there that it's really, you'd really want to be playing only like some really, really heavy stuff. I would almost recommend getting like a compressor or something to tighten this up a little bit because it's just, in a bridge pickup it's not too much, but you know. So this thing really, it's got the gain for days, you know. So I hope that helps anybody who's wanting to get this unit installed in their guitar or buy a wiring harness or anything like that. I got this from Dragonfire Guitars. They're really great, they're really nice people, and they're really helpful. So I give them a thumbs up. And I think this unit's pretty great. It runs on a 9-volt battery. So if you've got a guitar that doesn't have a battery cavity or trim cavity or anything like that, you will have to do some drilling because otherwise it'll be a pain in the butt every time your battery dies. Take your whole pick guard off. So that's a bit of a pain, but you know, 9-volt batteries. We're guitar players. We're used to that sort of thing. So all in all, I'd say this thing is definitely worth the money. So that's all I have to say.